First, live, local. This is Fox 12 Now.
Everyone, this is Fox 12 Now. Thanks for joining us. I'm Greg Nibbler. I am live streaming here out of the Fox 12 Oregon newsroom. We're here every weekday, and throughout the afternoon, we will have all kinds of different segments and conversations that we'll have here, and that includes breaking news if that happens. But right now, I'm going to make a connection that you may not ordinarily make, and that is between sake and curling. What do they have in common? We're going to be discussing that during this segment because we went out to the Evergreen Curling Club based in Beaverton, an actual curling club. As we all know, curling's popularity becomes exponentially bigger every 4 years or so because of maybe some things that are going on. And so we wanted to go out and actually learn about curling, but they have teamed up also with an Oregon-based sake company called SakéOne, which I didn't realize this myself. Oregon is one of the biggest producers of sake in the US and one of the biggest consumers of it as well. So we wanted to find out about that, because that does tie into the economy in Oregon, but also just an interesting fact and thing to learn about with sake. So we're going to start off with that portion. You'll see the curling in there, and then we'll go on to learn more about curling as well. So we've got a bunch here for you. Let's get it started. Paul, really good to be standing here with you. I know this is a unique backdrop for what we're talking about. We'll explain that here in a minute. But tell me about SakéOne.
Yeah, we don't find ourselves at a curling club very often, but SakéOne was established in 1992 in Forest Grove, Oregon. We began our life as an importer of fine Japanese sake. 5 years later, we began brewing our own sake, so we're now both an importer and a brewer. And today we've become the largest importer of Japanese sake and the largest brewer of premium American sake.
Wow. I mean, so what is it about sake that drew you to it?
I'd worked in wine over 20 years, and maybe I had a little wine palate fatigue. I'm not sure exactly what it was, but what drew me to sake was, it has an amazing history, amazing culture. One of the partners that we import, they've been brewing nonstop since 1548.
Wow.
So there's just tremendous history there. But also when you talk about food and wine pairing, I consider myself pretty good at food and wine pairing, but with sake, you don't even have to think about it because wine has tannins, wine has acid, and those are the components in wine that will compete with food. And you have to manage those components when you think about what you're going to eat it with. With sake, no tannins, very low acidity. So it'll pair really well with pretty much anything you eat. Hamburgers, pizza, my personal favorite, Mexican food.
Really?
Culturally, it's associated with Japanese food, but chemically speaking, it'll work with everything.
Okay, I love the chemical aspect of that. But for people who don't know, what exactly is sake?
So sake is a beverage made, it's more of a brewing process, but it's fermented from rice. Mm-hmm. Rice has starch predominantly in the middle of the grain. We use a special mold spore called koji, which is also used in the production of soy sauce, among other things.
Okay.
And it gets at the starch, it converts it to sugar. The sugar is then converted to alcohol with yeast. So it's kind of brewed probably most closely like beer, but it's a very unique process where we turn the starch from rice into an alcoholic beverage. And the alcohol content is pretty consistent with most wines you'll enjoy. We're right around 14-15% alcohol.
Okay, all right. So yeah, about like a wine, as you mentioned. So talking about sake here in Oregon, though, I mean, that seems pretty unique to have something like this here.
Yeah, it was a chance encounter meeting in an airport between a local businessman named Griff Frost back in the early 1990s. He met a Japanese sake brewery owner, multi-generational family sake owner named Toru Murai. There was probably flight delays. They ended up having a lot of time to speak together, and they were talking about their passion for sake. And Griff said, I always thought there was this potential to brew sake in America and turn more Americans onto sake. And the two of them formed a partnership, and in 1992, the company was born.
Wow. And so it's just grown from there to this huge, behemoth that it is for sake in the sake world. And talking about that, looking at the growth of this as just a channel, I don't know what the right term would be, but looking at it, you seem to hear about sake more and more now. So what is it about it you think that's drawing people in?
Yeah, so beer, wine, and spirits, those are the kind of the big three in alcoholic beverages. But over the last 5-10 years, the growth rates have been slowing down on beer, wine, and spirits. And sake, although we're still very small, we're about 0.5% of the wine business. So I see that as a lot of potential for growth. Our trends have been very consistent. So we are not declining like beer, wine, and spirits currently are. We are eking out some modest growth still. And a lot of that comes with both the younger generation's desire to try new things, not necessarily drink just what their parents drink. Japanese culture and Japanese food is more popular than ever. So we have a lot of advantages, and with mindful consuming, when people are really paying attention more and more to what they put in their body. Sake is sulfite-free, histamine-free, gluten-free, kosher. There's just a lot of things about sake that make it a really enjoyable beverage for, kind of every night. And I think people are realizing, too, that you can enjoy it with things, not just sushi, not just ramen.
Right.
And demystifying sake to help people understand that sake is best, in most cases, best enjoyed chilled like a white wine.
Okay.
So you chill it, treat it just like a white wine, put it in a white wine glass, and enjoy it. It's we're really trying to demystify it and make it more approachable.
Right. Yeah. It's not. Definitely approachable. I mean, looking at it right here too, you even have it in a can.
Yep.
Can version. Nice. With a really cool label, I will say, right on there. That is
Thank you.
That is pretty awesome. Well, one more question just about the sake too. Just how important is it to have something like this here in Oregon?
Yeah, I mean, I think it's very important. Oregon has a natural affinity with Asia and with Japanese culture. There are more Japanese restaurants here per capita than I believe in any other place in the U.S. And we love telling people that the Oregon or Portland metro area has the highest per capita consumption of sake in America. So it's really the perfect place for us to be selling sake, although we're sold nationwide. But also the sake production requires clean, very pristine, and abundant water supply. And we all have very good rain jackets here for a reason. It rains a lot, and we get our water off of the eastern slope of the coastal range, where it's really clean, soft water, and very abundant. So it's really the perfect place to brew sake.
It's just everything's lining up. Yeah.
It really does.
For it. All right. We're talking about sake. Behind us, we've got curling. How does this come about?
Yeah, it seems every 4 years or so, people start talking about what are their favorite winter sports, especially to watch.
Yes.
And, someone might say, oh, I love bobsledding, or I love the luge or ice hockey. But always someone brings up curling.
Yes.
And that's where everyone in the room just brightens up, gets a smile on their face. And when we started thinking more about it and talking about it at work, that's really what we want people to do when they think of sake. We are the beverage that people don't enjoy as much as beer, wine, and spirits, right? So we feel this kinship with curling in that way. But we think that going forward, people need to really start appreciating and enjoying both curling and sake more. And when we started talking to USA Curling about this, I was on the phone with a gentleman in New York, but I was Googling, hey, local curling near me. I wasn't sure if there was any in Oregon. And Evergreen Curling Club is 2 blocks from my office, and I've been driving by it every day, and I didn't know it. So it was one of those meant to be partnerships where I think we do have a lot in common, and we have a long way to go to improve the popularity of what we do, but we already have people that are very passionate about what we do. We put smiles on people's faces, so it was really a perfect partnership.
That really is. So just walk over with a bottle of sake from work and be like, hey,
yeah,
let's team up.
Absolutely.
Awesome.
We do highly recommend, though, that you curl first and then enjoy sake second.
Fair enough.
We don't enjoy enjoying sake and then walking on ice.
That's probably a good idea. All right. Anything else that you think is important for people to know?
Just as you're putting your watch parties together for some upcoming games, would definitely recommend, anything you're going to serve food-wise will work with local sake. So support the local sake. The Momokawa brand is really easy to find locally. The Diamond is our #1 seller, and it will go, my personal guarantee, it'll work with a wide variety of foods. And if you like really spicy food, my last plug would be sake works exceptionally well with really spicy food.
Okay.
It's made from rice, so it has a little texture, but it also doesn't have high acidity. So acidity can ignite heat.
All right.
And the texture can lay over it like milk, right? It can kind of like, coat your palate. So it's really good with spicy food. I always get habanero hot sauce on my chicken burrito, and I enjoy it with
sake.
Diamond sake, and it's beautiful.
All right. Well, now I want to try this, but we've got to go do some curling first.
Absolutely.
As you said, following directions. All right. Hey, Paul, thank you.
Yeah, you bet. Thank you.
All right. So definitely interesting learning about that. If you didn't know, just how important, sake is, and just what a big producer that the state of Oregon is SakéOne. So really fascinating stuff. As we mentioned there, though, we do have to do some curling. So that's going to be the next segment. We're going to take a break here just for a couple of minutes, and then we'll be right back, and we'll show you that. I actually learned quite a bit about it. I mean, if you watch it on television, that's one thing. This is actually getting a little bit of inside knowledge on how that works, and it's also a place where you can go try it too. So that's coming up next. We'll talk to you here in just a minute with more Fox 12 Now.